far as the league's business, is this enough room in New York City, the counties of New York, and the counties of New York City? Is it enough room, territorial-wise, to put a league in a particular area, and they could do business in that area with the youth football organizations?
Well, I think so. I think it's always good to have more choices. I think that it's always good to have more leagues than just one. Anytime you have a monopoly in anything, I believe that the quality, the what's the word I'm looking for? The quality goes down. And I believe that anytime you have more choices, it's good for the kids, it's good for the city, you know.
What do you think, Ant?
You saying in a specific territory?
Yeah, like a specific area that the league can operate.
So you want exclusivity for an area, or what are you?
If it's a certain amount of organizations in the whole city and the county, right? And it's 3 leagues, 4 leagues operating it, right? Now, we don't want to, this is a democracy, so we don't want to, monopolize one and have a auction, have like if a team is in a certain area that a league is operating at, and they will come to you, and you probably say, once you go see Mr. Garvin over there, because they got a football league there. Should that happen? Should that something that could happen, or is it?
I mean, you lose out on innovation when you restrict. You say, hey, this one's always here. Now they get complacent and say, okay, if I have exclusive rights to anything in my, geographic area, then I don't have to innovate. I don't have to do anything different. I don't have to do anything different other than what I've been doing, because it doesn't matter. They're going to come to me anyway. So other leagues bring out innovation, in my opinion.
Okay. Mr. Garvin?
Well, for me, I always thought it was a good idea to have multiple leagues, because what it is that it's almost like a store. One store offers something the other store may not be offering. You may want what you're looking for, you can get from this store as opposed to what this other store has. And so that's why I always thought that it was good. The backlash to that is that how those leagues operate amongst each others is the key. It's not just me monopolizing or wanting to monopolize, but how do I interact with the other leagues? Like Tyrone will tell you, we've been knowing each other way back. I don't even want to say, I'm docking my age over here, but the situation is that our leagues have not butt heads not one time in all these years. And that's because they offer something, we don't offer that. And we tell teams that want to come into us, the one thing they offer is they offer travel. We don't offer travel. And so we don't speak to you about travel. And it's fine. If you want to travel, listen, Big Apple, they do travel things. All right? So we will tell that organization that wants to do that, if that's your aspiration, this is where you need to go. Or this other league, this is where you need to go. But we won't try and squeeze that piece of lemon into my glass when it shouldn't be in my glass. It should be in someone else's glass.
Just?
Yeah, I was over the door.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Garvin a little bit. I just feel that, you can't tell nobody what to do. They're gonna do what they want to do. As far as like opening the program. What I do think, when you open a program, I think it and you know you basically brand new, I think you should cater to the brand newness. I don't think you should try to jump in, you know, with your whole body. You know, just put your feet in the water and see what it do first. I don't think everybody's a Division I program. And that's like a big thing with what's going on now. Everybody wants to be Division I, and they don't have the coaching experience to do that. They don't have enough coaches to do that.
That's another
You
topic.
know, and they might don't have enough kids to do that. That's just my opinion.
So to clarify, it's like if you're in a certain area and you're being realistic about what you have. If you're being realistic about what you have, you may say, "Oh yeah, man, I'm not Big Apple. Maybe too much. Maybe let me go to another." And I don't want to say no name. I'm just using this as a reference. And maybe I need to go here to I get what I need to do to go, to because I know Big Apple currently got a startup type of thing, right?
Yes.
They currently have a startup program type of thing, and it's just talking to who you prefer.
As far as the territorial thing,
Where's Just Face?
he's hiding.
Speak your face.
As far as the territory,
Okay.
I agree with the panel. I don't think it's something that would work in New York City. I don't think it works on a league basis. I don't think it works on an organizational basis. I think all the teams pretty much pull from as far away as parents are willing to travel, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that there always will be multiple leagues in the city, just given how things operate in the city. And I think that at least several of the leagues that have developed over the last, I guess it's been about 20 years, have made things better for the community overall. I think when Big Apple came into being, basically, leading New York City youth football, a lot of those organizations, I think we had a focus on the younger groups, and we started to bring a lot more excitement around those younger groups. The 8-year-olds, and it became more competitive. I think that also we started to do more around, certainly around travel. That was a big deal. I can still remember when Courtney was the first, and the Renegades were the first team to travel. He didn't really even want to do it. Kind of got pushed into it, and that spawned a lot of growth. It was the first New York City organization, at least in recent history, to travel. And then what came after that was the unlimited weight football, where I think that was a league up in Harlem or somewhere that had started with unlimited weight, and then as Big Apple got into it, really began to grow unlimited weighted football, which I think was a huge plus. And then Empire was kind of the next, iteration, and Empire, created for the first time, us helping us with the travel grants that we issued. Empire issued thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in travel grants over its life, and I think changed the way we look at things, and I think showed that we can work together for the common good of the community. And I think some of what Empire did certainly influenced Big Apple, and I think Tyrone came in, and when Big Apple was kind of its life cycle was coming toward an end with its existing model, and Tyrone added life by doing some things that attract, number one, made the organization run better, and also I think we're positive overall for the community. So, I mean, the panelists have made the point that the competition, creates improvement. It can create improvement for the product overall. We push one another to be better. But by the same token, I think that you can get to the point where, Coke and Pepsi have been around forever, and they battle with each other. But every once in a while, you get, a little upstart that may change some things for a little while, but, then ends up falling by the wayside because they don't have that product doesn't have what it takes to go the long haul. And I think that, we may look around at some leagues and, only time will tell which ones have the longevity, but I think if you're going to start a new league, you have to offer something. You have to offer something different. There has to be a meaningful differentiating factor for your business in order for it to be successful. And I think when you look at New York City youth football, when you look at Big Apple, you see things that are unique, that are a reason for them to exist. And when I look out at some of the other leagues that have developed, that may not necessarily be the case. So, but again, time ultimately will tell whether or not they do have the longevity.
Okay, all right, so the next topic is, limited or weighted. I want Mr. Garvin to start off with that. Is limited, how it's, that's the new, unlimited, and weighted unlimited is the new, I know it's been around, Bill said it's been around, but is weighted football at its end? What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure if it's at its end because I've had I think it was a league from Massachusetts got in contact with me because they wanted to bring an all-star team from their area to come play us, or we go play them. But I told them, I said, I have the facility, you can come play me. And they brought their team down. And one of the things was the first thing he said is, do you guys have a weight limit? I said, yes, this is the weight limit. And I gave him the weight limit, and he said, oh, it's only a couple of pounds difference between the two leagues. This could work. So, in that case, it works. It worked. And but I think as it went forward, as we were starting to think about it, and the evolution of what's going to happen, I seen that we needed to start to use some unlimited weight for some of our divisions, which this year we started with the 15 to 17-year-olds first. Then now we are with the 13 and 14-year-olds. So now we're with the 13 and 14-year-olds, they're unlimited. So we kept the limited weight with the younger groups. We just increased the weight a little bit, mainly because of what the politicians were trying to do to football. They were trying to rob us. So we said we need to kind of keep some kind of safe haven where we could argue back with them and say, what are you talking about? We don't care about safety. We care about safety. Here we have limited weight with the age groups that they want to cut out, which is age 12 on down. They didn't want any kind of tackle football, and these are coming from people that didn't even play football, so they have no idea. They're not interested in it. They're just interested in what it's going to do for them to take them up the ladder, and they would destroy a whole society, I should say, because it's a football society. They would destroy a whole football society so that they can climb up that gate.
Like the reason why I choose this topic is that the recent change of Big Apple to unlimited, and two, what happened this year with Long Island. that they got rid of town football, which was weighted.
Okay.
And which was weighted, and they kind of got rid of it, so to speak, and it created a couple of teams out of Long Island coming over to New York City. So the question is it, like, according to you still think it's still
I mean, it's for us right now, and I would
Okay.
say for everyone,
Okay.
but
Okay.
for us in New York City youth football, it works for us from age 12 down. I will not say that with us over the next few years, us reviewing it and going over it, going through some numbers, seeing some other things, other attractions, other leagues through the United States, because we don't necessarily just do everything based on New York, but through the United States. Would it be best for us to go unlimited? And also, we started to look at the rosters. So I look at rosters. You got a roster of 30 kids.
okay.
Just to be unlimited, but I only got 4 kids that would have been close to the limited weight limit. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's wrong or that it's not good for unlimited. I'm just saying right now for us, as I examine rosters, because I look at rosters all the time. Rosters come in, and I do all the certifications. So I'm looking to see, what size kids are coming in here. Do I have a team that has 10, 12? Like 1 year, Kings Bay is one of the teams in the 13 and 14 year old division. They had about 9, 10, maybe 12 kids. That if it was unlimited, it would have been good for them. But these kids were overweight. So in that, but that's only one team. That was only one team.
Let me just say one thing though, Garvin. I think some of the reason why you don't see as many kids that are close to the weight limit is because you don't do unlimited weight.
Yes.
Right.
I can tell you that if I look at a Big Apple roster, every lineman, I played an 11U team. The 11U, we played the Jamaica Bulldogs today. Their line averaged 210, average 210 across the front line. They had guys that looked like running backs at running back. Their linemen looked like linemen. They're big kids. And I think one of the things that I've discovered in doing this for a while is that when you all big New York City, one of the things I think was good about New York City football is that you guys never did the older lighter thing. It was just straight age weight, not older lighter. I can tell you, and I think that Tyrone and probably Just can tell you as well, that with older lighter, I could absolutely look at a roster and this team had 10 older lighters, this team had 3 older lighters. 9 times out of 10, the one with 10 older lighters is gonna win. Because age is by far more determining factor than weight. Because you get a small, quick kid, he can get around. But, 10-year-olds move like 10-year-olds. 12-year-olds move like 12-year-olds. I would take a small 12-year-old over a big 10-year-old every day of the week. Every day of the week. I think right now what's happening is that unlimited weight football is flipping. It used to be unlimited was the exception. Now I think it's basically almost flipped where weighted football is kind of the exception. And we recognize that big kid who, we all have him, right? That kid, Jonathan Hayes, he ended up playing, probably went to Notre Dame, is on Pittsburgh's roster, I think now. At 12, he was 6'2", 225. He was not overweight.
But that's the exception though.
Excuse me?
That's an exception to the rule. That's the exception, that kid right there. You don't have multiple of those.
My 14-year-old line averages 240. My 14, and they're mostly 13s. They're kids who are going to be high school linemen who are playing on my line. They're going to play and be successful high school. That's not really the exception. I think pretty much you look down the line and I played a team the other day, I had a 7th grader, the kid was 6'2", 6'3", huge. He's exceptional.
Right.
But I think there are a lot of those kids out there that had in the past been forced to either try to sweat down.
Exactly.
I think we've been through that, kids dressed in the plastic bags, running around and trying to cut weight. They either had to try to sweat down or you move them up. And again, I don't want to see a big 10-year-old playing against my 12-year-olds because they're going to get their lunch eaten most of the time.
Yeah. So,
Before you said, guys, I don't mind the back and forth, right? Perfect. We have a time limit,
Yeah.
so let's keep it like relative. I know y'all want to get your point in, and I want it. Believe me, I want it. But the tape run out, I can't do anything. All right. So
what happened with Big Apple? For me personally, I always wanted to stay weighted football. I wanted to stay weighted because nationally, Big Apple, New York was dominant weighted football. But what happened was I seen the transition around the nation that just tried to tell us years ago that him and Bill, when they went to Empire, and I seen that they were flourishing, and Big Apple, when I came back to Big Apple, it was dying, that I knew that I had to make a decision and go unlimited weight football so that we could take every kid. And that's what it was all about. It was all about taking every kid instead of, like Bill said, a kid that's 10 years old who's heavy playing on the 12-year-old. No, now we could take every kid and I could follow that blueprint, and what it did is just blew us back up to what we was.
Yeah.
We did, as long as we offer quality and the kids are all being helped safely, it just blew us back up. And I always commend Just for having that vision way back when he was talking to Rocky and them guys from Connecticut. He's always had the vision of unlimited football. So that was, so that's why.
all right, Just, what's your take on it, Just?
Well, I think everybody should do unlimited, but people got to do what's right for them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? For their league. The number one thing I think we should do as presidents and commissioners and everything, because listen, we all basically come from the same league.
You wouldn't know that at all. Played outstanding. Where was the same?
Huh?
I don't know where that come from.
That's,
What was that?
go ahead, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Yeah.
Yeah, what I was basically saying was like as presidents and dudes that run the league, it's really no communication no more with nobody. And I think we should have those like channels open, whether it's Warner Conference or Pioneer, Big Apple, UTL, whatever it is, whatever, Joe Schmo. I think the channel should be more open and as far as like the communication part, because I think things can happen better. Like, I'm on the zone, y'all. And like, I just think things that happen better if, everybody works together, because you got some leagues, like I said, that aren't ready for certain competition. And then you got some leagues that are. And you just want to make sure everything is put in the right perspective, and, we doing the best thing for the kids. But I like unlimited now. I always did. When it was brought to me, I said, I'm telling you, this is the way to go.
Absolutely.
The kids, because you got to remember, all the overweight kids couldn't play. Kid he never played football until he got to high school. And that's unfair. So basically, we kind of shut all of them out. Whether you want to believe it or not, we've shut all of them out for over 30, 40 years. Because they couldn't play. He was just overweight all the time. So, I mean, like you brothers, Milk, you probably was a big boy your whole life, right?
No, this is evolution. After I got married, this is evolution, brother. I can show you, brother. I can show you a picture. I know people that didn't see me in 30 years walk past me and turn around. Milk, yeah. That's what happens, man. It's marriage life.
Now I feel what you're saying, like, this is like,
Yeah, but I
Coach
understand.
Harry's son. Like
Yeah.
Coach Harry's son.
Yeah,
Coach Harry's son couldn't play for like 2 or 3 years.
wow.
And he was just a baby. I remember he couldn't play tiny mice and none of that. And he was just a baby. And now look at him, he's a goon, like,
Yeah.
like, you know, I just feel when you do unlimited, you get all the kids ready.
That's
You
right.
get the smaller kids,
You get all the kids.
not being scared to tackle bigger kids. You know what I'm saying? And then you get the bigger kids not being timid to hit the smaller kids.
Yeah.
It's just better for football.
Okay.
But Anthony, Coach Anthony,
I mean, you guys pretty much hit it.
Okay.
I agree.
this is your opinion. That's
Yeah, my opinion also is sometimes when you have a 10-year-old on a 12-year-old roster, because he's heavier, he's now exposed socially to things that he shouldn't be. What a 12-year-old's talking about and a 10-year-old's talking about are totally different things. So now he's getting 12-year-old locker room talk, 12-year-old interactions, and the only reasons he's on that roster is because he's a little heavier, you know.
You have to tell Daniel to eat.
Also, there's
Just use your phone.
Just be recording, Just. Okay.
also you stigmatize. So now let's say I'm 10 years old, and you go, Mom, I want to play football. Okay, cool. Hey, who's with you? I got my cousin Ron and my neighbor Bill. Well, Bill can play, Ron can't. Why can't Ron play? Well, Ron is 132 pounds. Oh, so where does Ron go? Well, I'm sorry, Ron, you know, he has to go up to that team. You know, so it's more, because you don't want, yes, you want them eating healthy, but sometimes a kid is big, and he might slim out later in life, but right now, you don't want to teach him to, you know, we worry about women being bulimic and sticking their finger down their throat and stuff like that, but you don't want it for a kid to feel like, you know what, I'm not slim, what do I need to do to be in, you know what I mean? Whatever that takes.
With this meeting, I'm gonna chime in on this and we'll keep it moving. This meeting, or this conference room meeting is designed for a league. We're gonna do, this is one of 3 parts. So we're gonna do one for the league, then we're gonna bring the organizations in, and then we're gonna do something with the coaches. So this is a part of a part thing that we're doing. We're gonna move on to the next question. Should the league encourage or help to increase divisions in that underneath their banner? To increase the divisions, like I know you guys, some of you guys got 6, right? 6 divisions.
We got 5.
You got 5 divisions, and when an organization comes in with few or start organization got 1, should you guys kind of help organizations to try to increase their divisions?
Well, we encourage it. What we
Encourage
do is
it, yeah.
we encourage organizations to start with the babies because that's the foundation of your organization. And when you come in with a 12-year-old, 11 or 12-year-old, you know you only got a 2-year life expectancy. So what we do is we encourage organizations to start at the bottom, but most coaches don't want to coach the babies because it's harder for them. So they want to start with the 11 and 12-year-olds. But when you get that, you look at that and you let them know, we know that in the next 2 years, you're not going to be in existence. And you can look at it now. It's a lot of people that call themselves an organization. You're not. You're a team. You're a team that travels from this age, this age, and then once your kids are 13, and next year they're out of here. So we understand that. We know that this person or people will not be here in the next few years. And do we encourage it? Yes, but as a league, we have so much more going on to say, okay, I'm gonna take this one organization and try to help. How do I help them? I tell you, go out there. You got to get out there and recruit. You got to put your flyers out. You got to start doing things to help build it from the foundation. And if they don't, that's their own due diligence. It's hard for us to do.
Just this is your what you feel about this topic about should the league help increases divisions in their,
Unmute your phone, Just.
unmute.
I kind of agree with Tyrone on that. It's like a two-way street. I mean, you gotta know what you wanna come in and do when you come in and do it. And a lot of, like he says, like, if you're starting with 14, or say I'm doing 15, you 14, 13. What are you doing a lead for? Like, you wasting your time because they're gonna be gone.
Right.
And when they're gonna be gone, you ain't gonna have no kids, and it's gonna be like hard to recover from that. You know what I'm saying? You have to start with the babies. If you know we playing kids at 4 and 5 years old, we like, if we get a big kid, we get a big 4-year-old, and the parent agrees, we let them play. You know what I'm saying? We just let them do what they want to do. We don't even really care if those kids win. Just do what you want to do. They be fighting, and just do what you want to do. Because this is how they're gonna get better. You know, then they start playing Killer Man and doing all this stuff, and it's just better for them. You know, I just think when a person wants to create and do his own thing, because we get a lot of that. You get disgruntled coaches that were with the programs, now I'm out of here, I'm starting my own program, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And they got the right intentions, but they don't have the right, they don't know how to make the right moves, and then it fails. And then it's like a recurrent thing every year. You still losing. You still losing. You're not competing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the bad thing about it. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like, you got, it's like, it's levels to this. And you know, like, I got my start, like, coaching with Kings Bay. You know, I used to play with Kings Bay when I was a kid. And I got a start from them, and that do in-house and all that. And, you know, I never forget this. I never forget this to this day. That Donnie Banks, my man, cool dude, cool brother, he came to me and said, yo, this is ours. You just can't do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? This is how it goes. This is how we got it structured, and you got to follow the blueprint. And I said, yo, you know what? I respect that. And then when I finished coaching that year, I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own thing. And I'm going to take what he said to me and do what I want to do now. You got to set those rules. And if you don't got loyal people with you to do that, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. You can't get a football team if you ain't got no coaches. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of agree with Tyrone with that. Like, you gotta do things right now. It's gonna fail, you know, to me.
Mr. Solomon? Is he there?
No, we'll go with it.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm here. Let me shut down the video for a minute.
It's on you.
I mean, I agree. I mean, you have guys that start organizations for different reasons. And I think there can be a couple, a few, good reasons to start, and then there's some bad reasons. I think guys who go into it thinking of a program and wanting to do something in the community, I think those are oftentimes the guys who are successful. I think those that come out with, one team of kids that they took from another program to go and try and, win a championship, I think those are often the one-hit wonders. So, I think that around the city, there are a limited number of what I call real programs. I think the legacy programs like the Skyhawks and Kings Bay that have been around, that's kind of at one level. The next level would be kind of like the Titans, the Hurricanes, the Chiefs, who came in at kind of that, about, call it 15, 20, maybe around 15, 20 years ago. And then you have some of those really, really new organizations that some of which pop up and then disappear, on an ongoing basis. So I think it's good if an organization is creating more opportunity. I don't think it's good when and we all have seen it, when organizations pop up for the wrong reasons. So that's my thought.
Before I bring Mr. Garvin, I want to chime in one thing. As a league, your guys want to encourage growth,
Absolutely.
right? You want to encourage growth. So not to say bad about teams doing it for the good reason, should it be a criteria? Like, listen, Coach Smith, I understand you want to do your own thing, but we encourage you to start at the babies first. And at least the first year, you're kind of guaranteeing till you can grow your organization. And like that.
But I would say it's not my call, obviously I don't have to leave, but if I did, I would say you get 1 year grace period.
Okay.
So year one, you come in with tenure, that's cool, but you have to participate in summer ball. If you can't get a summer team, or a tiny mite or junior mite team in the summer, then we're not accepting your 12U next year in the fall. So that way they know, okay, I can't just rest on this one team and ride it out till my son goes to high school. I got 1 year, I'm a player, it's good to play all the good teams, but now I have to go hit the street and start finding the little ones, or else I'm not gonna be able to participate.
Is that something that your guys would consider in your league? Now, I'm gonna say not make it law, but you have to increase that's something that's a good idea that that you should happen before you get to your point. It's just like a quick type of like this.
Well, you gotta understand, the league is about business.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see a good quality in a team that comes in, and
Talk over the mic, I can't hear you.
and you want to help them. You want to help them, and you encourage them for growth. But it's on them. That's their choice.
Yeah.
So like I said, the league is about business.
Yeah.
And so you encourage them to grow, but it's on them. So remember, the league is going to be here. If you grow out and phase out, that's on you. But we're going to be here.
Yeah. I would say this is a league topic. This is a league topic because the league is about organizing and continuing the game on a competitive level. It's a business.
Yes.
The league is about that. So we all got to worry about growth.
Yes.
If we don't worry about growth, sooner or later our clock will tick it. Mr. Garvin, what do you feel about the increase in the divisions?
Well, as Tyrone said, I believe, and I've always said this, that everything has to start from the bottom. You gotta save the babies. When we were Warner Conference, and Nick Masakis was the commissioner, and Nick could not care about 7 and 8 year olds. No. He didn't care about that division. He didn't care whether they existed. He was like, I don't want to hear anything. Yeah. So when we finally got to put it in,
The peanuts.
what he did is he said, I don't care about no scores. We in meetings. They asked him about scores. I don't care about the peanuts. I don't care about nothing about them. He didn't care about them. The peanuts, their organizations are paying for them to play in this league, and you don't care about them. So what happened is that I took it upon myself and said, Nick, I tell you what, to help you out, I will man that division. I'll look after that division. We'll make sure the scheduling is fine. I'll make sure the scoring and all of that. We'll pick up on scoring and all of that. It doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about that portion. And so he gave me that because it was a headache off of him. So he didn't have to deal with that. But as going forward, I kept telling guys, listen, I'm telling you, the peanut division is the most important division for us in our league because we only have peanuts. We didn't have mighty mites. I said the peanut division is the most important division because if you get 8 organizations that have peanut division, then those eight peanut teams are going to be peanut teams and junior PB teams. So now you have 8 and 8, right? So you're going to sprinkle on some new kids that's going to come on to that. And that's how your organization will grow. So now you keep fighting to have those kids coming in as peanuts. So now those peanuts, as they get older, now you got them junior pee-wee, then you got them pee-wee, then you got them midgets or bantams, then you got if you have intros, they're intros. But the whole thing is that it's a growth spurt.
Yeah.
And the problem is that some guys didn't want that growth spurt. Those guys that are disgruntled, that want to leave organizations, they leave in organizations for what? Because they didn't want to adhere to the rules. I'm being straight about it. It ain't got nothing to do with them wanting a championship or anything, because they get it done with the organization they're with. It's all about they didn't want to follow the rules. So for me, for that, a team like that or a group like that wanting to come into our league, right? Red flag comes up. Like, weren't you with that organization, and now you got a whole team and one team.
One team.
Not 4 and 5. You have a whole one team, and you're trying to now you want to come into our league with that. And to piggyback off just when he said about the communication is there, because I would call up Courtney. Did this guy, he came from blah blah blah, he's trying to come into this league, or if they left off from whatever organization. Let's say it was a coach from the Chiefs that left off and he started his own team. I'm calling up Just. Yo, Just, what's going on with this guy? Because Just is already his everything is established with him. Everything's working with him. I need to find out why this guy wants to leave from here to start this one thing here. And it's not even a big thing, it's a little thing. I need to find out why that would happen.
Yeah.
And that's very important when you're coming in too. But again, staying on topic, definitely starting off with the younger guys. I would actually say to some guys that's coming in, you're coming in, what age groups you want to come in with? Because to be honest with you,
Not to cut you off, Garvin. A lot of that got to do. Everybody think you making millions of dollars off football. So that's why they doing what they do.
Yeah, you probably right. But the one age group where we actually don't really hinder accepting is the 15 to 17 year olds. So if a 15 to 17 year old team comes to us and they only have that one team, I don't do too much investigation. I only investigate on their behavior, because you can't bring no bad behavior into my league. That's not happening. All that fights in games, coaches fighting in games or arguing in games, or you late all the time, or you forfeiting all the time. Yeah, you can't come into my league with that. I have to turn you away. I have to say, the board, what the board is going to say, because they're the older group of board members is like 40 years and better organizations, so they're going to look at it and say, God, tell me what you heard about them. I'm going to tell them everything, and they will just turn them down, and it's no problem. I turned down a team this year, and the guy kept saying, he said, can you tell my parents and my players why you turn? I said, bruh, you're the head of your own organization. You came to my league. I told you that we're going to vote whether you're in the league. I didn't tell you to tell your parents and your players that you're in a league. That was on you. So now this is what you're going to do. You're going to not send me any more notes about this. Okay? I want you to have a nice day. Enjoy your holidays. Have a nice Christmas.
Okay. The next thing we're gonna keep it moving over here, but it was it's very interesting. There's a lot of ways we can elaborate on that, but it's like Mr. Garvin brought up. And listen, this is a big thing. I had it on my show. I made some innuendos out there. I got some phone calls about it. Can a league operate totally independent? It's some leagues. And I'm not going to say some names, it's some leagues. I have to question them because just like I said, I hear what you're saying, but I see what you're doing. It's just my observation. In some leagues, you see it, like you see certain decisions they made, and when I try to question about it, not saying Big Apple, because he's been very open to me about his moves, right? Other leagues, what you doing? Listen, because I question it. Can you totally operate? Because I believe a league's supposed to be totally independent. Their business is different than an organization.
You want me to answer that, Milk?
Yeah, all right.
Big Apple is operated totally independent. I'm independent. I don't have an affiliation with any organization. Any organization. All the rules in Big Apple is adhered to by everyone because I don't have an affiliation. I consider all of Big Apple's organizations mine. Every last one. From the Chiefs to the Kings to Hudson County Dolphins to every one of our organizations, I consider them all mine. So I treat them all the same. Now, do I expect more from some organizations because they're more long-standing and I expect more from them? Absolutely. But Big Apple is totally independent because I don't have an affiliation.
Mr. Garber?
Well, for New York City youth football, it's slightly set up a little different than Big Apple was because we won a conference, and what happened is that the then commissioner passed, so his sons and one gentleman named Jack Lang, they wanted to take over they were going to take over the league, which was fine. We didn't mind that, but what happened is that one of Nick's sons wanted to act like Nick. You can't act like Nick because you're not Nick. Nick has these relationships with all these organizations. You can't come in and state and say and speak the same way. And that was the same thing we tried to tell Jack. So what happened is that we turned around. We said, the organization said, what we want to do is we want to have a board. We want a commissioner, but we want to have a board. So this way we can vote on some rules, and it be fair. The commissioner will just enforce the rules. And so that's what happened. So we're independent, but we're not totally independent in that I do have an affiliation with an organization. But the one thing I can tell you, and they can all tell you, I'm impartial as a mother. Because I've already suspended.
You can separate.
Yes, I've already separated. I've suspended coaches for my own organization from being at games because of their behavior. I don't care. My thing is, we have rules. We have bylaws. We follow those bylaws. It's like we put that paper down. This is how the league is gonna run. Flip through the pages. Go ahead. Because during the year, it's never gonna change.
Right.
The rules are the rules. I've had guys come to me on the side and try to whisper in my ear. I said, what did the bylaws say?
Absolutely.
You have something that somebody can reference from.
Right.
Like me having a media show, and if I have a question, you say, Uncle Bill, here's our bylaws. So I can go, oh, okay. I have some that.
That's what it is. We
That's
have
beautiful.
That's their reference. And when an organization is coming in and they're new, I immediately, what I do is I usually email them the year before's bylaws, because we may go through a little change in the bylaws for the present year, or we don't know that yet. But at the time when that person he's trying or she's trying to get into the league, I still want you to understand the rules, because it might not fit you. And that's what it is. I'm giving you an opportunity. It may not fit you. You don't like this, you don't like that, or why do you do this, or why do you that? If you have to ask me why, then it don't fit you.
Bill, we got something on the screen. Is that us?
I couldn't hear what you said.
The question, the topic was, can a league operate totally independent? Because I know some leagues has organizations
That running.
that indirectly or directly running it. And we want to know, because I feel, just like I said, I feel a league should be totally independent. Totally independent.
I mean, this is where,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really kind of a tricky question because, I mean, Empire was started on the premise of, organizations who have common interests being able to come together and manage themselves in a democratic way. Unfortunately, I say this is on me. I learned the hard way that, not every democracy ain't for everybody. I think the demise of Empire can be directly tied to people with different interests, different visions, really changing the direction of the organization. So can a league be run independently? I think that, yes, it can, but I think Big Apple has started to get to a sweet spot, as well as New York City, where there's independence, but there's also input. I think there has to be input from the organizations because, my point was that I have an organization with 150, 160 kids. You have, the Chiefs have an organization with 150, 160 kids. We are tasked with representing those families and those kids. So, we need to be able to have a voice to help to make sure that what's impacting our kids, we have a vested interest in this. So I think it's important for the organizations to have a voice, but I also think there has to be, an element of, consistency in terms of, as Garvin pointed out, these are the rules. Here are our bylaws. We ain't moving from this. This ain't gonna change.
Absolutely.
And I think that is critically important. And, we had an independent commissioner. I think at minimum, that's important to have. Garvin has demonstrated that he can be independent, but that's always a question, right? Particularly with the big orgs. The Skyhawks are, one of the grandfather orgs in the city. So, is Garvin gonna, just do things in favor of one org? And frankly, that was at one point what was the perception of Empire and was the perception of Big Apple as well. That just certain orgs got everything. And I think to the extent that has gone away, I think that's a big positive. I mean, I think that's one of the pluses that frankly, that Tyrone that brought to bear. And from what I've seen of New York City football, Garvin, you have as well, in order to maintain some level of independence and have some credibility.
Okay. Josh, is you there?
Yeah.
Josh, your take on it?
I mean, I kind of agree with Bill on that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I agree with him on that, so I agree with Garvin on that. I mean, I think Garvin and them do a great job of doing an independent league. Like you said, it gotta be done right, you know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, that's independence. They rules is they rules. This is what it is. You don't like it, you can leave.
Absolutely.
And it depends. That works for them. Might not work for everybody else, but I don't really have too much to say about how you want to do it. But just make sure you gotta make sure you're doing it for the kids. That's what the bottom line is about. That's how I look at it.
Basically, you're right. Basically, the kids in the game is more important. And if you're doing the right thing and you're transparent, that the most thing is transparency.
Transparency and honesty.
And honesty. That's the thing. And someone asks you a question because they are part of it, or they it could be a parent, a coach, or a president, whatever, could say, "Hey, listen, blah blah blah," and you're transparent. You say, "Well, it did this way." Hey, it solves the whole thing. You want to chime on this? Yeah. Okay. All right. The next thing The next thing, we agree, because I'm gonna skip this one. Working together for the sake of the game, we agree that we have to have some type of, I keep saying we, excuse me. You guys agree that you have to have some kind of communication
Absolutely.
on how we should move forward. Maybe some type of meeting at the end of the year, the season, everybody's good. Listen, we thinking about doing this, we thinking about doing that, what you thinking, this and that, and just have some kind of feedback, some ideas on how the character won't step on anybody's toes as far as the league is concerned. You know, we're looking to do this, we're looking to do that and things. So I was gonna skip that.
Absolutely, but I like to say that it's funny because I spoke with Bill. What was it, last week or the week before, Bill?
Last week.
Right. So Bill called me up last week to speak to me about some stuff. Courtney called me up a couple of days ago. So what I'm saying is that when we're talking about communications, there is a certain group
That always
of
stick together
leagues
and stating that they always
right,
have communication.
always having a communication. These guys know they can always call me.
But
You can always call my phone and be able to contact me when you called me.
yes,
Right?
yes.
Found
yes.
my number from whoever. I answered you and I said yes.
Since Pioneer, because they kind of been around a long time, right? The new guys, Metro North from and UTL is pretty much the new guys. They can have a line to you guys anytime. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So we don't want to, cause I don't like you gotta be with me, and I'm independent. I'm being with everybody. I had that conversation with somebody. You need to get on the winning team. What does that mean? No, I'm the winning team. I'm on everybody's winning team.
Right. So
So I'm not separating myself, from, because I care about the kids and the game, and like that. So I could say to them, like, you could call up Mr. Garvin, you could call up Mr. Franklin, you could call up these other guys,
Well,
You can call it these other guys.
it's about each league
Yeah,
being open to being spoken to.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah.
And I think some of it is based with the commissioners and them being able to communicate with each league. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Make you make a phone call. You want to make a phone call. You want to ask some questions. Ask some questions.
Sure enough.
And you have your dialogue that way.
Yeah, that's it. You have to open
But
up.
again, you're saying the newer leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't spoken to anybody from the newer leagues. I know about Pioneer, and that guy, unfortunately, the guy that was running it, I forgot his name.
I think he's the president, Mr. Sean Garbo.
No,
No,
there was another.
that's not right.
Oh,
There was
he
another-
introduced me that he's
Right. So there was
that
another.
he's the
There was
president
another guy
of
that was running it.
Yeah.
What happened is
I forgot
my
his
wife.
I remember
So my
his name.
stepson.
His name is
He
forgetting.
he played for the Harlem Jets, older team, and so I happened to go to their championship game.
Yeah, it is a Mr. Patterson.
Yes, there you go,
It is, but he
Patterson,
introduced me.
Right,
The
right.
guy's like the owner.
So-
but
So one of the things I recognize is that after the game was over, I think they played the Buccaneers. I don't know who it was, but the Harlem Jets won, the Buccaneers lost, and my wife asked me, "Could you go out and get my stepson from their little meeting?" I said, "Yo, they in a meeting. I'm a football coach. I don't walk in the middle of somebody's huddle or meeting and say, hey, give me my kid.' No, I say, yo, we have to wait till he's finished. Well, I think they're finished. Could you go over there?" So as I'm coming on, as I'm going on the field and starting to walk, one of the kids from the Buccaneers, and this is unbelievable. And I'm saying this is a kid that has to be, he can't be older than 18. He's walking and he turns to the commissioner, Mr. Patterson, and says to him, "You need to effing get some goddamn better refs in this place."
yeah.
And all I did, I just stood there with. What really got me is that he didn't even address that kid. He didn't address the organizational head. He didn't address a coach. He just let the kid walk. Like, this is okay.
Right.
That's not okay with me. We had a kid in our league for the year before. He was with one organization and he was causing some problems in some games. He left and he went to one of the intro leagues, and he would say, "Yo." And before I certified him, I said to him, "Yo, I'm telling you, if I get 1 ounce of you being kicked out of a game, for I don't care what it's for, you're out of this league."
Man.
So it's just you trying to make sure you set up a precedence that no, you're not bigger than this league.
Yeah.
Just understand that. So I found that odd because I've never heard it happen to anyone from Big Apple.
The main thing of the topic, because we all addressed it, that we're going to be open. You guys, I keep saying we. Excuse me, please.
It's fine.
You
It's
guys
fine.
going to be open.
Yes.
To if this guy comes up to UT, yo, what's up, Todd? Or Metro North, or even Pioneer, the people that's not here. I'm
Yes.
trying to represent the people that's not here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We wanted them to come, but any reasons to the fact,
I would
they're not
truly
here.
like, if time permitted,
Yeah.
that we all find a way to play our champions versus champions at some point in time.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
that's
I
the
want.
quality. That's the next thing.
But
quality
you
of
gotta
quantity.
understand,
Yeah.
time permitted is hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I want it. I want it, but time permitting, can we get it done?
And first of all, we have to, before that happens, right? And I'm hoping that do happen. We have to have a dialogue. You can't walk on a UTL, and I'm making this observation, but I'm just making up a scenario. You can't walk in a UTL game just want to see, and they go, "Damn, what Tyrone's here? Oh, he's gonna take my team. You can't. That can't happen. He has to embrace you, like, yo, I'm here. Thank you, Mr. Garber. What he's trying to do? We gotta get rid of that.
Absolutely.
We gotta get rid of that. If you show up, it's an honor you to show up.
Absolutely.
And that's what this is my observation. I've been there, and I've been in those conversations, and I'm nobody. So I've been in a circle of people who was some people just on the back listening and talk that.
Let's have a clear understanding.
So that's the deal. I'm like,
I'm in no competition with
I know.
anyone.
I know.
You do what you do in any league. Like Garvin said earlier, we have been in existence for all these years, and we have never butted heads. I'm not in a competition with anyone. You do what you do, I do what you do. We all can do it together. But I'm going to try to do mine to the best of my ability. He's going to do his best of it, and everybody else going to do theirs to the best of their ability. And we're all open to having open communication.
So to get a city championship, to get an all-star game, to get legit crossovers on certain things, it's a conversation. It's a conversation. Are you open for the conversation?
Yes.
Whatever. To sit in a setting like this,
Yes.
with everybody on the beat,
I thought this was it.
Well,
Yes.
it's kind of entertaining. I got to get something
I thought
to
this
it.
was it.
I gotta get something too, But it's to really get quick in what I'm doing. I gather content, and it's a sports show, and I'm really serious about doing this across the whole spectrum: football, basketball. I want to do a sports show all across the spectrum in New York City. I started with some people that's not here. With me, other reasons. I dealt with everybody because I'm open, and sometimes some I got burned, somebody just gotta say, okay, see you later. But I'm still working. To do a total sports show about New York City youth sports, period. Across the spectrum. I got introduced to a lot of basketball guys. I'm very happy. I'm gonna be doing some basketball topics for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Then I'm jumping back into football. But understand what Uncle Milt really needs. I only can talk about you guys when I get content. People look at I know they're doing, I laugh, but Uncle Milt is different than Milton. Milton is a whole different thing. Uncle Mill has to put on. It's a together thing, and when I call you, it's ascertain information. To ascertain information. I don't want to come out like I'm not TMZ. I don't come out and say this. I could. Over my phone, or I get texts and telephone calls. Oh yeah, I could just say that just to get viewings, but I know when I see you on the field, I'm like, yo, Mill, why you call me? So I'm trying to bring some kind of fairness into what I'm doing, because I can't be what I do if y'all guys don't do nothing. I have nothing to talk about, but when you do something, I do. Moving on, so quality or quantity? What do you know? Let's make that quick, because the last one is going to be bigger. Quality or quantity? Which one?
Quality.
Quality or quantity?
Well, it's a 2-point factor.
Okay.
Of course, you want quality. You want the best competition, and I really believe that. I truly am all for the best competition. And that's with growth. Remember, when you have organizations, you got to have your organizations of growth from 8 to 13. Everyone has all the divisions, and that's how you get quality. But when you don't, you have to sometimes in your scheduling to have a quality season. You got to mix in some organizations and some teams that is not as good as others, and that's what happens. That's what brings the quality down. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a little of both. You gotta have good quality, but quantity helps, because when you let a young organization come in and they start growing, it makes the quality better. That's what happens. So it's a little of both.
Anthony, quality or quantity?
Quality.
Quality. Just you there? Quality. Mr. Solomon?
No question, quality.
Okay.
No question.
All right. The last topic, and I got a junior topic, we covered it. The last topic, New York rankings. Should we have it or not? Is this good or bad? Mr. Franklin, what do you think?
Well, as a league, I know the kids like it, the coaches like it. Personally, I can take it or leave it. It causes a lot of nonsense and controversy with the organizations, because if you're not playing everyone, how can you get a true ranking? And if you have different leagues, you don't play each other, and it's not a true ranking. That's why I said I would love the champion versus champions in the season. But I could take it or leave it.
Okay, would you be kind of open? You say you take it or leave it. Would you be more taking it if you was part of the criterias? It's got to be criterias.
Okay. I feel that, let me say this. Anytime you get someone that comes and take a product that you built, like when D1 Nation came and took a product, a Big Apple organization's names and Empire names or Inner City names or UTL names or New York City football names, and use it without having any form of communication with the owners of the league. I think it was disrespectful. Because you're taking something that we built and you're building your product on it. It's franchise infringement. And you're not having a conversation with anybody. You're just doing your own thing. I mean, that's kind of...
Okay. I mean, that's a fair
And then
enough.
you have a conversation.
Mr. Garland, how do you feel?
Well, I mean, I have to just piggyback a little bit on what Tyrone was saying. He's 100% right. And I often thought about this when I kept hearing about this national championship thing. You know, it's an interest in my mind to think about it. I always have to think about it. And I said, well, how could it be a national championship if you didn't play the team from California that was the best, or the team from Texas that was supposed to be the best? You end up playing against a team that might have been from New York, and you're from New York. So you're not truly, when you're saying national championship, did you play the national group of teams? It's not like how college football is a little bit different. When they have a national championship, they have that playoff before. Even that is a little tarted with the rankings, as far as when you're talking about 4, 5, and 6. Those are the guys that really get hurt. But at least you're seeing national teams. You're seeing teams playing national teams.
But he was asking about
New
the
York.
rankings of New York City.
Right. So that's what I'm saying about New York City. So that's why I said I could piggyback on what you were saying, is because we don't all play each other.
Right.
My league does not play teams in his league. You know, all my teams didn't play teams in Empire. So how could you get a grasp of a true ranking for New York City if the New York City teams, and I say teams, that means all the leagues playing each other's.
Okay. Bill? Rankings?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna state this as plainly as I possibly can. I'm a grown-ass man who is running a program for the purpose of helping the kids in my community. I don't live my life by social media, which is what some of these coaches do, and talking about this one and that one. I want to win games. I'm concerned about the team that I am playing. I'm concerned about whoever you put in front of me. That's who I'm concerned about. I could care less about who ranks first or second or whatever, because as everyone has pointed out, we don't play each other, all of us. So all of that is for kids and adolescent coaches who wanna put stuff on social media, and that's just not my thing. So I could care less. I think what I would care about is exactly what Tyrone said, which would create some excitement in this community, in the city, to have a true champion where Big Apple plays, Metro plays New York City youth football. That would be fun. That's something that's, we're competing. We're not getting on social media doing this and conjecture and all that. That is what I'd love for us to work toward. More, everybody, let's play and let's crown a champion. Let's create some excitement around competition, not social media crap.
Absolutely.
Just?
Yeah, I agree with Bill on that. I agree with Bill. I'm with it either way. I don't mind. But I've been there, been in the national championship, lost twice. It is what it is. It's hard. Like he said, we don't play Skyhawks, we don't play Kings Bay, it's hard to do. We can only probably put that on the actual, when you say rankings, do you mean with everybody that's going out and everywhere, or you're saying that league that you're in?
Let me explain, because I have dealt with Ralph J. for D1 Nation, and let me explain. I want to round it. Ed, you want to talk about rankings
The problem with rankings is in youth football, you're encouraging me now. Let's say I'm up 21-0, right? And I want to get my NPRs in and get them some extra playing time. But I know that the team that's quote unquote ranked higher beat them 35-0. So let me keep my starters in, let me blow them out completely and win 40. So now it looks, oh wait, you won a close game. It was only 21-6. Oh no, let me blow them out all the way so I can look better for the ranking, as opposed to playing football and say, you know what, I got the game in hand, I won. Let me get these young guys in the game so I can get them developed. No, you're going to want to win by as much as you can. You're going to want to win by the biggest margin, so that way you're ranked higher for a mythical,
When I met Ralph Draper, I was talking to him on the phone before I physically met him. We had a telephone conversation. Let me explain something what I do on this platform. I'm a content creator. I got into sports with my partner, Milk. You're a content creator, so I have to think about creating content for the sports show, right? So when I met Ralph, I'm just like I said, I'm nobody in football. Be honest with you, this man right here brought me in, and I started coaching, and then it revolved from where I started to now. So when Ralph was explaining to me about rankings, right? I said, Ralph, that's a great idea, man. New York is not ready for it, Mill. You got to do it this way. I said, wait a minute. You know, maybe we should go talk to Mill. And this is the truth. Ralph had said to me, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. And I said, okay, Ralph, what is the criteria of it? Now, this is me not talking like a content creator. This is me talking about a guy that's doing youth football media. Now, you know, we have a setting, we have production, my partner will tell you, and we sat and talked about it, right? His concept is good.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest with you, his concept is good. Is that it's a way of doing it, and I think it's got to be participation. I wanted him to do it separately from D1. I have nothing to do with D1 Nation, but I'm a content creator. And I said, well, do it separate. Like, let's make up a separate type of thing, and we have a show with just that. So I said, okay, this is the show I needed anyway. I wanted to scores and highlights, stats. I wanted that, and then I say, okay, do your D1 things, and I create a show with him. It didn't work out. He built on us at the last end for some reason, but it what it was. He's gonna be mad at me, but I felt that it was a bailout. You know what I'm saying? Well, every reason that he had, you know, but it happened. You know, it happened. But I still want that show. I still want that as a content creator, and I want to sit down with people, even if I'll bring in an independent person to do it, because I feel not only it's a coaching tool to help the kids, and a coaching tool to help get kids better, not to take advantage of it, because a real coach will understand the concept of rankings.
But how does that make the kids better?
You train, you prepare for a game, right? Right? You train and prepare for a game, right? We all know it's only can be one Super Bowl winner.
Right.
What happened to the rest? Where's the growing? What is saying, like, listen, as a team, to encourage your team to come back. A non-new team, encourage their team to 10 you. We was number 5, man. Let's see what we can do better. It's something to grow on, my opinion. It's something to tell your kids to grow on, to get better, to get them in early, to get them in some kind of improvement, your game. Listen, you got to improve on this next year. So I like that premise, but it's got to be a criteria. So somebody has a question, they can go back. Oh man, number 5, you said it's got to be this, and you have to address it. But when there's no criteria, it's like it's always going to be a question. What is this? Why this don't team? Why this don't thing? And I think it can happen. I think that
You can't have it. The teams don't play each other because whatever.
No, but we can come sit down and talk about how we can do it.
Right.
I don't know the cross. Another thing, what Ralph was trying to do is create the tournaments in the off seasons that you guys not doing your business in the off seasons, and he was basing on people that was coming to his tournament, and I felt, I was struggling with my content creator side of it, and the side of reasons. I still think that you should have sat down with certain people and say, listen, no one's stopping you from doing it, but listen, I got yay or nay, yes or no, this and that, that's it, and this is what we're trying to do.
My thing is, how do you come in and not speak to the movers and shakers of the area and just go out there and put your input on something?
I think he tried. A lot of people's not like me, honestly. I don't care. I'm gonna call you. You don't answer. I'm gonna call again until I get tired. You don't want to talk to me. I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I still see you on the street. Yo, what's going on? You don't talk to me. It's my side, and that's who I get. I come from a sales background. I can understand that. A no doesn't mean no forever. It mean no now. But sometimes no on certain levels mean no forever. But I gotta grow, you gotta grow, never, I always leave the door open. I don't let feelings come, but sometimes, and let's be honest, Tyrone, you got them people out there that, you got that street team, man. And those guys, and I know you saying that you don't condone it, but they out there and they spread your gospel, man.
Everyone in every league has their people who are going to push the league's agenda and popularity. They're gonna try to boost the league's.
But I'm giving a reason why Ralph couldn't get at you. I can call you, but I think he had to call you.
He never did.
I think he should have, because it's two sides. Like I said, it's two sides. I'm a content creator,
right?
Regardless, I like that. I just, man, come on, But on my other side, and I'm like, oh, how you gonna do this? And I'm noticing that just corrected me before, Mill. He's on your show and he's on this and that, and it wasn't it. It was me grooming him. My partner would say it was me grooming him for his own show. I had to put in some time because he came to me. We was ready to take the training wheels off a long time, but he came to me and said, and honestly, I'm open to helping. And he came to me, yo, Mil, can you please, like this, let's do it a couple of times. So I said, all right, because I wanted to separate. I wanted to do a few shows and said, okay, you on your own. And he didn't want us to take the training wheels off yet. And he kind of like made it, maybe that was good for him, but we got something out of it, but maybe that was what he wanted to, and then when it was time for him to ride a bike with no training wheel, he dipped on us. That's what I feel. I haven't, and I gotta sit here and what I'm gonna do with all this carnage now, but it happens. But to me, and I'm hoping we can, Joe, I wanna air this thing, I'm here independently. What I do is independent. I care about the sport and the kids, and I respect the people who came before me. And I always showed everybody respect. Far as that, and I'm the new guy in it, and I'm trying to build a sports network to cover youth sports in New York City, football, basketball, whatever, track, whatever. I'm interested in all of it, and I have to act. Uncle Milk has to act a certain way. So sometimes I get in my feelings, but I have to get out my feelings, and I don't want to take on no other weight than I have to. And it was if I was agreeing with Ralph on everything, I'll tell you, see, I agree with Ralph on everything. Did I encourage certain things because it was creating a conference and a buzz? Sometimes it's show business. But at the end of the day, I always said this is Ralph Draper D1 Nation opinion, yes. And I always said that, but it is what it is. But far as the rankings, my opinion is got to be done a certain way. Is necessary. Also, stats for the kids. All-Star game and all this other stuff. That only helps the brand because we do put people. You guys put people in the stands.
That's got to come from individual organizations.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's another that's I got to jot down for organizations. But leagues, they put on the product. They're like the promoters. They put on the product, and you want the right product. You want the right product in that. And any last words from anybody before we close it? Mr. Solomon, you want to say something?
I think it's good to have the dialogue. It's always good to, I think everybody on this call is, we have our differences, but we're relatively like-minded in terms of what we want to do, in terms of the quality of the product we want to put out, and how we want to go about our business. So I think it's great to have the conversation.
Mr. Just?
I just want to say one thing. I spoke to Tyrone and Bill about this the other day. What I think we should do and this goes out to all youth football organizations, I think no matter if you D1, D2, D3, whatever it is, I think we all need to be downtown in front of that mayor's office,
Yeah.
demanding that we get multiple fields, like they have fields in Florida, in each borough. So we don't gotta be fighting. If you look at how the landscape is right now, right, over the last 20 years, they got more soccer fields than they got football fields.
Absolutely.
They have more soccer fields than they have football fields. 50, 40 years ago, Kings Bay got their own facility. They got their own baseball facility, hockey, football. It's been like that since I was playing it. You know, the Shamrocks got their own facility, baseball, football. Like, the Brooklyn Chiefs been around for 20 years. And we gotta fight and argue about getting permits. We got Garvin been there, Skyhawks been there a long time. They got more soccer fields on parade grounds than they got football fields. Like, I think that shit need to stop. Eric Adams wants to be the next man. I think all the teams need to be down there and let him know in the 5 boroughs, what do we need? You know what I'm saying? It's like we got like if you look at 5 and Diamonds, right? 5 and Diamonds is a big ass park. Big ass park. Park been the same since over 40, 50 years. They didn't do shit to it. There's no lights, just old grass. Like those parks could be renovated where you can have 3 or 4 football. You can have 2 football. You got 2 football fields on each side, and incorporate baseball, soccer, whatever the case may be. But we need to start applying more pressure because guess what? The tennis got facilities.
Yes.
And Stockton got all the facilities.
I'm gonna tell
we
you
have no
why.
football facilities. We got a big high school to play on their field.
I'm gonna tell you
You
why.
don't send them no kids who can't play on their field.
The thing is
I
that
don't know about you, Garvin. Y'all been there, like, you and Bayside been there so long, and Rosedale been there so long. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know if you guys have more say or whatever as far as your field is concerned, but I'm quite sure you guys get the soccer dudes and bathe in your field as well.
Yes. I mean, yes, they do, but we're kind of grandfathered in to the field, so our permits, as long as we do the paperwork and send it in, we're gonna get the time that we requested or that we've been getting along. We get those soccer groups coming there all the time, and you even got soccer groups coming in there that don't have any permit, and we know who these guys are, and and they know who we are. So we kind of walk up to them like we may have a weekday practice, and these guys are doing, it's a pickup game for them. So we have to go over them and talk to them. And if we only have 2 teams practicing on the field, that's fine. But if we got 4 teams practicing on that one field,
They gotta go.
the other dudes got to go.
That's right, guys.
Gotcha. What I'm trying to say though, right? Hold on, Chop. Like, for instance, right? What's the joint? What is that in Harlem? What's that called?
Oh, Randall's Island?
Yo, bro,
on the one on
that
the west
makes
side?
no sense that they got about 10 soccer fields.
Baseball, too. Everything.
Like that shit is ridiculous. Like, and this is over the last 20 years. Because none of the football teams are sticking together.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why Courtney got to play on 108th and Seaview, and that shit is raggedy like that. That property is so big that it can be renovated. New York City got more money than any state in America. So why we can't have new fields in these hoods? You look at them, I'm not talking about one field. I'm talking about facility. I'm talking about concession stand.
Right.
I'm talking about, like, if you look like the baseball team on 108 and CU, they're grandfathers, so they got the other side of the land.
Yeah.
Look at Courtney part of the land. Like, this is what we need to be doing, man, like, because they got money. New York City got money.
Just,
This shit don't make no sense, man, like, we shouldn't be begging and you know, you can only get 3 hours a day on your permit, or 4 hours a day, and you got 200 kids. That ain't gonna work.
Just, I investigated this and looked into, well, I live in Long Island City, and it's an upcoming neighborhood, a lot of money. What we need to do, and this is what I'm trying to do with the NY for NY. The NY for NY Facebook group, I want everybody to post sports events on it. So now we have to create a coalition of youth sports, period, and demand that these parks gotta be upgraded to a multiple use park. Football, flag football, soccer, baseball. I don't know what's going on with baseball in the neighborhood. There's a lot of empty baseball fields all over. They have to be upgraded. The only way we can do that is the coalition together and be a voice of millions, because they got the money. I'm part of this group. If y'all know, down in Long Island City, the waterfront, that whole waterfront, and I got part of a group with the Board of Education building, all the way to Queensbridge Park. They want to redo that whole waterfront. Right. The developer wanted it, but they saying no. They want to take the Board of Education building, that sits the PSL. They want to change that to a multi-use for the community, film rooms, auditoriums, right, and little spots like this to do entertainment, sports, and they want to take the field from that building all the way on, and they want to make it a park, a park. Now, I was in one of the meetings and they put me on, and I gave them a tour of Queensbridge and down there, and I said the only way this is going to work if y'all make a multiple use field with lights, with stands, with everything. It's in Long Island. I just went to Syracuse. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
They state parks are beautiful. We don't have a park in New York City that's a goddamn state park that everybody can use and walk in there.
Nope.
And that's what we should be fighting for. But we have to coalition. We have to get that crab in the barrel syndrome off of us and say, okay, I'm a league, I'm a team, I'm an organization, but we down for this. New York for New York.
Absolutely.
All I'm just trying to say, every borough should have an aviator, man.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yeah, hands down.
Should have an aviator,
I agree with
like,
you.
because, and not be charged. And hey, listen, you've been around 20 years. This is your situation.
Yeah.
You share it with these teams in your neighborhood. You in East New York, you guys share this neighborhood, or you share this location.
Yeah.
You guys, like, this how it should be, man. Like, if you look at all those, the armories, they turning them shits into soccer joints, bro.
Because their coalition is better. They got, soccer is all right. It's a economical thing. It can be played by the poorest of people, and it can be paid by the richest of people. The biggest thing in soccer is girl soccer, and it's rich. A lot of people got the girls out there playing in field lacrosse, field soccer, field thing, lacrosse, and them people are in politics. They go there, knock on the door of the Parks Department, and say, "This is what we want."
Absolutely.
And Joe is gonna cut this out. Don't kill our niggas. Who cares? That baseball field on these guys have been out on Christopher Street over there in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Nobody play baseball there. It's big enough to be a football field, So that's the thing, And I want to end this, man. I want to thank you guys. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Anybody?
I'm good.
You're good. Yeah. I want to end this, and I want to thank you guys a lot for having this. This is a one part of the series. The next part is the organizations. We'll be calling you back, Mr. Bill, and we'll be calling you back just for that. And it's just about organizations getting together on how to increase kids, how to get funding, how to do fundraisers, how to get in the community, in the businesses in the community to support you guys and things like that. And then we're gonna deal with the coaches and deal with this. Should it be okay? That's like, we're gonna deal with a certain question with the coaches, and this is a one part of 3 parts. What we're gonna do. And I want to thank you, Bill. Thank you, Just man. Thank you, peace, and Anthony. And Mr. Garvin, thank you. I appreciate you guys showing up.
Absolutely.
And I'm here, just like I said, this platform, I'm very serious about it. You guys answered the call, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you guys answering the call. That I can call you guys up and y'all can give me the information, and it helps me do my job better. Because I don't want to, like I said, I'm not TMZ. I don't want to destroy anybody, but I want to, it's a little pepper and salt in it to have fun, but I know that this is a kid's game and the love of the game and stuff like that. So thank you guys, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Tyrone. And we're gonna end this, and hopefully the next one. I want to say this. I wanted Metro North and Mr. Adams in here. I wanted UTL. Smitty and Adam in this meeting. I wanted the guys from Pioneer. I want them into this meeting. I don't know what's going on in Long Island. I'm still trying to investigate what they got out there, what's going on. I wanted them in this meeting, and I tried my best to get them in this meeting. And they're not here. Unfortunately, they're not here. But I did try to put the word out, and everybody answered the call. So I want to thank you for that. So we're gonna end this, and thanks. Appreciate it.